This is War Room Moments, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and most relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. War Room Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board. Here's your host, Jason Miller.
All right. Hey, welcome to the War Room today. I got a very special guest on today, and he's going to just rock it with his story. I know it. There's going to be a lot of really good plugins for this. Welcome to the War Room, Garrick.
Thank you much, man. I appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah. And I always like to say I do a really bad job at introducing people. So if you could just introduce yourself to our family here, and what's your superpower? What's your jam, man?
Gotcha. Well, my name is Garrick Jones. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I'm also a veteran of 3 different professional football leagues. I am the president of Huddle Up Foundation of Houston, which is the nonprofit leg of the NFLPA Houston chapter, in which I spent 4 years as treasurer and VP of that chapter. We have around 2,500 or so guys under that chapter that, migrate back to Houston and make that home. So, really what we've done there is we're working with athletes to teach them how to leverage their social capital in order to make the biggest impact in the communities that they live and serve. Like I say, my background is been graphics design and marketing and promotions. That's my first business, and I've run that ever since. I'd say my superpower is, for me, is an unyielding desire to win. I've been competitive my entire life. Playing professional sports and professional football was a blessing, but it wasn't my first love. My first love was art and music. And for me, I took that competitive nature into everything that I've done in business and life in general. Just an unyielding will to win and bring people with me and be able to expose them to different things that they didn't think was possible. So I think the superpower for me is just that. It's all about building that blueprint and leaving something for the generations to come.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's, I always love, because I have a military background, business background, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah.
And, it's easy to spot people that are high performers, right?
Yeah.
Because, you can always tell when, the A game versus the B game, right?
100%.
And
100%.
And the majority, and this isn't to offend anybody, but the majority people play in the B game, right?
Yeah, they do.
They just do, right? It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just a thing, right?
Right. Yeah, it's a reason. It's a reason for it,
It is, right? There is. And once you've played at high performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a CEO in the military, emergency response, NFL sports, any sports, whatever the case may be, man, it is hard to come off of that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for me, to go to college the way I did, I was recruited by a lot of schools out of high school.
Yeah.
And I was offered, by 20 plus schools, but I decided to stay in state, and I went to Arkansas State. And the reason I did was, at the time, my mom, she was going through health issues. So I didn't want, for them to have to do a ton of traveling outside of, trying to go to, what we were doing at home games, because I was maybe an hour and a half away from home. So, so I think it worked out 2 ways. I got a chance to stay closer to home and be closer to my family. But my junior year, man, I was so burnt out on school and everything that was going on with it, the politics of it, from a D1 standpoint. I ended up leaving. So I left after my junior year. And then my senior year, I spent chasing scouts from Little Rock, Arkansas to LA, from LA back to Mobile, Alabama, in a car. Everywhere they were stopping to watch film, I was showing up with tapes and my cleats around my neck. And eventually, they started working me out. So I spent my entire senior season chasing those scouts and getting the opportunity to really impress upon them that I was a professional without being paid.
Yeah.
And in doing it, man, I made it. Less than 1% of all athletes make it to the NFL, but I was one of the ones that made it without a senior season from the trunk of my car.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it's about blueprints.
Sure.
You can do things. It's definitely doable, but you have to be cut from a specific cloth.
Mhm.
And that's what this thing is about. It's a reason why 1% run pretty much everything,
Sure.
because they're going to do what 99% don't want to do, and that's what I'm
Yeah,
about.
totally. And that is that's that burning desire, right? Like, we all fail at things. It's crazy to
Yeah.
say we
Oh
don't
yeah.
fail at things, right? But there's a difference between people that fail.
Yeah.
It's a recovery time. That's the way I look at it. It's all
Uh-huh.
about recovery time. And
Yes, sir.
I always tell anybody, we all have struggles we go through or in our companies. And, like yesterday, I don't even remember what it was. This is how I work, right? So,
Right.
there was something that happened and I forgot about it 15 minutes after it happened, right? Because it's like, it's dealt with, it's done, next, right?
Right.
There's no time to like dwell on that kind of crap and do all that. And you just hustle, 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 hustle to get where you want. I'm not in the hustle so much anymore, but when we're younger like that,
Yeah.
right? But you never lose that. It just shows up different every day. That's
Yeah.
all.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
And,
100%. I
and
mean,
yeah.
everything that you go through in life on a daily basis, with me, man, I try to be intentional about everything that I
Yeah.
do. Because I'm on borrowed time, man. And that's how I look at it. I'm not gonna be here forever, but
That's
what I
right.
build can be. And being exposed to a lot of organizations, be it family offices or high net worth individuals, and just reading about individuals in books,
Mhm.
I looked at it and said, well, why not me? A lot of people will see things and they won't really dream, or they won't really take those actions. They may dream, but they don't take a lot of action.
Right.
Me, I'm all action, man. If it's time to go, it's time to go. Because I do want to be able to enjoy life and all those different things, but it's it's
Mhm.
it's the journey, man. A lot of people get hung
Yeah.
up on the destination, but it's all about the journey with me, because that's what
Man,
this thing is about.
preach it, man. Preach it. You and I need to hang around each other
Oh
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's like I teach my kids, wake up every day and drive life like you stole it, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Go.
yeah,
Just go.
yeah.
Who
Exactly. Like your
cares?
hair is on fire. Let's get
That's
it.
right. Today's pretty secure. Tomorrow, not so much. So
Right.
you got to drive it like you stole it, man,
Man,
for
you
sure.
said a word. Exactly.
Well, hey, let me back up here a little bit.
Hmm.
And so, growing up, when you grew up as a kid, did your family come from entrepreneurial backgrounds, or how did that start for you?
I believe that portion of my DNA came from my mom.
Okay.
My mother she's an exceptional woman. She's very smart, articulate. She always had that burning desire for more. Her going through high school, at the height of integration and segregation, in those times in the South. She graduated the salutatorian of her high school class, and she was the first. So it was a lot of trend setting when it came down to that. And I was young, and I didn't really understand a lot of why I was the way I was. But as I got older and had conversations with her, and got a chance to really look at my body of work, it mirrored a lot of what she wanted to do, and I never really understood it. But I would say from my mom, my father, he worked hard. It's gonna be hard to outwork me because of my parents and the work that they put in. I watched both of them work. And my father, man, he worked, man, he provided, he was that guy, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
her, she was the dreamer, the entrepreneur, just thinking about different things. She wanted to be a doctor, but made that sacrifice when it came down to us as far as being able to provide for us. That way we can go do it. And now with my children, the amount of time that I may not have or spend with them, I'm going to award them that time with their kids. And that's the maturation of, of how this thing works, man. Somebody has to say, the buck stops with me. I'm going to be the one to change it. And 4 or 5 generations down the road, they're going to benefit from it. So it started with my mom, and it's in me, and it's sprinkled throughout my youngsters right now.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
Twins that are 16, boy, girl,
16.
and I have a 13-year-old son.
There you go.
So
That's
2 boys,
cool.
1 girl, and they have it. They got it honestly, man.
Yeah. Was that post NFL, or was that still when you were in NFL?
during and post.
That's great. So they got to see the peaks of things then, right?
Well, yeah, they grew up in, me grinding and working. And even before they got here, that was a part of what got me through, me being by myself and working out, pushing myself, thinking about those things. How am I going to be able to give to my children when they came and be able to give to my legacy? So that helped me through a lot of works, workouts, 110-degree weather when everybody said I'll be out there to work out with you, and I ended up by myself, and I pushed through, and that's what you get, man. You get a lot of people that they'll talk it, but they don't necessarily walk it. So yeah, but they grew up, man. I'm getting ready for training camp, and I have my twins, man. I had one on my chest, one on my back, and I'm in the gym working out and all those things, man. So we made it work, man. Made it work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Looking, because I always think of like, more in the sports world, not so much in the military parts of things, but I always look at that as, you're playing sports. It's you're kind of on your own little entrepreneurial journey just with sports, right? But I'm curious how did that shape you through all of that to really be able to secure that entrepreneurial thing or that business, whatever title you want to give yourself, right? CEO, whatever, right?
Yeah, whatever.
How do you think that really that storyline, right, contributed to your success as a businessman over, decades of time? Right?
I just think it added value. It's always been in me. But for me, to be able to go in the way that I went into professional sports, I was able to see it from the outside, and I was able to see it from the inside. So once I got in, automatically I'm thinking, okay, how can we make this better? And as an entrepreneur, you're always looking at how can you do something and make it better. And that thought process turned into, ownership. All right, now I see how it works. I see what it looks like. Now, how can I be an owner in this aspect of it and be able to bring that whole competitiveness to the table, bring that entrepreneurship spirit to the table, and be able to now open the door and expose a lot of these practices and things like that to people who don't necessarily get the opportunity. So that's always been my MO, man. Once I got a chance to get in, I watched the owners, I watched the GMs, I watched the team presidents. So it was on the job training for me. Right. And a lot of people, because they don't have that vision or that foresight, a lot of times you can be in a room with 1 million people and feel like you're by yourself because you can't really relate or talk to people because they can't get it. But that's always been the deal with me. And I think just that aspect of being accountable, being on those schedules and really pushing yourself, especially in training camp, you have to compete with other individuals in order to get a job or keep a job. So it was a lot of times where I was sending guys home, just because I outperformed them. I was mentally tougher than them. So I get a chance to bring all of that to the table when it comes down to what I'm doing in business now. Now, is that, always going to be good? It's going to help us get to where we need to get to, but a lot of people have never gone through that, just like the military. Right. A lot of people have never gone through that, where you're pushing yourself to the point to where, you're questioning everything, but you're standing in your faith and you're standing in what you have to bring to the table. So you get a chance to help people along when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
Yeah.
cool deal, man. It's learning lessons every day, man.
Yeah. I love the fact that you use the word ownership, right?
Yeah.
So I'll take it even farther.
All right.
As business owners, as doesn't even matter, not just people, right?
Yeah.
We have to take extreme ownership in everything that we do, right?
100%.
Because once you do that and you feel what that feels like in something that you apply it to,
Yeah.
you get to immediately promote yourself to CEO,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Right. And now you stop living that sheep's life, right?
Yeah.
Standing around the water cooler bitching about stuff.
Right. Right. So in
Right.
circles.
And
Yeah. I get it.
the victimization crap that
100%.
it's just garbage, right?
It
So
is. It is.
have extreme ownership in it and then immediately promote yourself to CEO of whatever it is you're doing. If you're the
Whatever.
CEO of the water cooler, own it.
Own it. Own it. That's your deal. I'm the guy. Yeah.
Own it, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
No.
I look at that. I mean, that's a huge takeaway for people to take away from what we just talked about.
Yeah.
And this episode is ownership, right? If you didn't catch that, well, I just hopefully you got it now, right? So that's okay. I'm gonna hit you over the head with a hammer anyway.
There you go. Some people you have to do that, man. But you know, for me, man, I learned how to, be a loud leader as well as a
Mhm.
quiet leader. But I lead
Sure.
from the front, no matter what the situation is,
That's
so
it.
people can see it and they can see that things can be done. And it, like I say, it gives them a blueprint. But I struggle with the fact. I don't say I struggle with it. I don't think I do anymore. I used to. Um, Jobs and organizations send their employees to these conferences and these summits on annual basis to learn how to be confident, coherent, and competitive when we were born with it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you expect for people to get it when they don't, but it's in them, but it has to be brought out another way. So it's all about figuring out the best way to be a cathartic leader, an individual, when it comes down to how you relate a mind state and how you talk with people that you have that are with you and finding that tribe, man. And when you get them, you want them to be just as ambitious as and aggressive as you are, but at the same time, understanding that we're going to build this ecosystem in order to now go out and organically bring in more people to the point where you have a community that understands, hey, we can make things happen if we decide to put our heads down and make it go. And that's one of the deals, man, that I love about this journey that I'm on. It's because I get a chance to meet a lot of different people, and I can, within 5 minutes, I already know where you're going to go in this organizational structure when it comes down to different things. Everybody will get their opportunity, some a little bit faster than others, and that's okay. That there's nothing wrong with it, but people have to understand. All right, here's why, and I try to make sure that I have my mind wrapped around the teaching portions of everything when it comes down to building these businesses.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, and that is, from an employee standpoint of, if you as the one that's running the business don't even know the why, right?
Right.
Well, then how do you even expect them to follow your vision or mission or any of it, right?
Exactly.
And then we have, this whole identity crisis thing happening with, you know, teaching people how to be their most authentic self. When the hell did that become hard? I don't get
Man,
it. I don't get it.
that's a thing, man. I'm like, wow, okay.
I
That is
mean,
a thing.
it's really hard to be somebody else, but I'm really good at being me.
Yeah, yeah. You would think that, but I mean, I think we're in a day and age where social media helps with a lot of that when
Yeah.
it comes down to people trying to be other people because they're searching. They're searching for a why. They're searching for a reason. They're trying to find their purpose in other people's, I guess, Their successes that, you know, a lot of times when on social media, it's all fluff, right? There's nothing to it.
No, yeah,
When
for
you
sure.
really sit down and you look at it. But, you know, it's all about really finding your purpose and your passion and what you will essentially wake up for every day and do it for free. And then,
Right.
and then monetize that, you know, and people,
Yeah.
it's hard for people to get that sometimes. So,
Yeah. My wife said one time, when passion and purpose collide, you are your most powerful self.
yeah, hey, keep her, man. You got to keep her.
Yeah. I don't know if
She's brilliant.
I don't know if she quoted that or stole it from somebody, but didn't matter, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah, you get the point. She's brilliant, man. Tell her I said that. Yeah.
So yeah. So well, cool. Well, hey, you know, for those of you out there that didn't pick up the nuggets from that, because there were a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a few.
So, you know, if you had like your top couple of things that you'd share with business owners that look, here were some things that I took the arrows in the back with. You don't need to, because I'm gonna tell you what to do not to take those arrows.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say to anybody that's going to do anything substantial or worthwhile in life, you have to always remember that facts don't give a damn about opinions. And the reason I say that is because in the present day position that I am in, you know, working with a DAO, which is fan centric, and setting up a private equity fund, which is the 73 SARE, and having a holdings company like 73 Holdings LLC, we're looking to eventually acquire an NFL team, right?
Oh, wow.
And in doing that, facts don't give a damn about opinions.
That's true.
This is what it is. You know, this is how we will go about it. We'll be methodical. We'll play chess. We'll be an intentional situation where we get a chance to bring the fans into it, as well as the athletes that are the engines of these leagues. And we're going to educate, you know, all of those people and get them to a position where financially they are in a better position. But ultimately, the more things that we bring to the table, the better it is for us to have that opportunity. It's not just about having billions of dollars. It's about having a plan. It's about bringing revenue to the table. And it's about making sure that the athletes and fans that are a part of the DAO are educated, and we turn them into accredited investors to where now they can invest in the private equity fund along with the institutional capital that can come in, and all these big time investors when it comes down to us procuring sports organizations and building out sports and entertainment districts around them. Because it's enough room for everybody to eat, enough room for everybody to have fun and make money and create generational wealth.
Yeah.
So, and in doing that, you have to study. You have to understand what your numbers are. You got to understand what those projections are, and when you get to a position where you're confident and coherent in what you're giving off or portraying or trying to make happen, facts don't give a damn about opinions. And I can sit here and go line for line and show you how we're gonna do it.
Yeah. You're creating the ultimate co-op model.
There you go. 100%. You got it. You got it.
The ultimate co-op model. I love that.
Ultimate co-op. We're building an ecosystem, man, that we're going to invest in each other, and we're going to have a good time doing it, and we're going to educate a lot of people in the process, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to create generational wealth for everybody.
Yeah, that's the beauty about when you take care of people.
Yes.
Everything just seems to, not that it's like going to be smooth and fairy dust and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But things just, that's when the dominoes just kind of start to fall into place, right? Is putting the people first all the time. Right?
There you go.
And I mean, I have 14 companies, and I've operate all of them with that mentality.
Man, I love it.
We take care of the people first.
Yes, sir.
Your customers, clients, your employees, you take all of them first, take care of all of them first. World's your oyster, man. I mean,
man, you just described culture, the right culture. And that's what it's about. Without the right culture or environment for your people to thrive, your business can only survive, and we're here to thrive, and that's what this is about. It's about culture, man. It's time. It's time to do it the right way.
That's it. You bet. Well, hey, I got to tell you, if you're listening and you picked nothing up from that, you better rewind it and try again. So, because there was plenty there, and I love the episode name is totally going to be "Facts Don't Give a Damn About Opinions."
There you go. See how easy it is.
That's a no-brainer. Right
yeah, that'll get a lot of people through the door. And be like,
That's
what?
right. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
serious.
totally,
If you know your stuff, it's hard. It's hard to be denied. And if you can show how that looks, it's hard to be denied. It's the same way I made it to the NFL. I was hard to be denied. I passed the look test, the aptitude test, and I did it without someone standing over me, and facts don't give a damn about opinions. I'm supposed to be here.
That's right. That's totally right. And the bullshitters will it'll always somewhere at some point the curtain comes off. Right?
Sure thing.
So it doesn't matter. At some point, if you're one of those folks,
it's
coming for you.
As it should, brother. As it should.
As it should. Well, cool. Well, hey, how do people maybe not get a hold of you directly, but how do people work with 73 Holdings if they want to come around to that?
Man, they can actually email info@73holdingsllc.com, just an inquiry. They can search us online. Yeah, I tell people all the time, just, hop on your favorite search engine and look for Garrick Jones NFL, and everything will pop up, what I'm doing, what's going on, interviews like this. I have them up. They have them up. We're really accessible, man. I'm about teaching, and I'm pretty easygoing. When people reach out, they can search out hashtag GJ for GM. That's from when I, threw my name in. There had to be a GM in the NFL, but now we're talking ownership. And they'll find everything, man. It's I'm not hard to find. They'll find fan-centric. They'll find everything that's going on and how to catch up with me via social media, Twitter, IG, LinkedIn, all of those things, man. So I'm very accessible, brother.
Good. Awesome. Well, so kind of here's the for all the beans and all the money in the world, right? The last question here. And if you were to have had anybody be with us today on the show, right? Dead or alive, any point of time.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. To either be here to listen or to participate. Man, who would have you loved to have had here?
I'll get pretty deep with it, man. I would love to bring my ancestors and my lineage. And the reason why is because I want them to see that it's in good hands. I want them to see that, we're going in the right direction, and that the struggle, the strife, the fight, and everything wasn't in vain, because of the blueprint we'll leave through this movement, which is called the Ownership Reimagined Movement, where we're going to teach a lot of people, and not just, people of color, everybody. This is an all-inclusive movement. Like I tell people all the time, you can be 12 foot tall, aqua blue in the avatar, and this is for you. This is for us all. So I would say the ancestors, man, my ancestors, hopefully I'm making them proud, but I intend to make, the generations after me even more proud. So that's what I would say.
That's beautiful, brother. That is beautiful.
Appreciate that, man.
That is a great answer, and one that comes from the heart, not Elon Musk or
we good. We good with Elon.
Elon just doing his own damn thing.
Oh man, he's somewhere floating in the air somewhere right now. We'll catch up with Elon later, man.
He's probably about to land on Mars or something.
Exactly. Yeah, something way out the way now. We good, Elon. We'll catch you later,
that's right. That's right. Yeah, I heard a funny. Somebody was telling me the other day he doesn't want to get batteries from China anymore. So he started his own mine to mine the stuff here to do it himself. Like, I mean, this guy has no bounds at all. Right?
Nah, none. I mean, he's a visionary, man. Which is really good.
Yeah.
But like, for myself, man, to be a visionary and to have things at your disposal and have money and all of those different aspects, those are vehicles to bring other people with you. So it's you can have everything in your playground and in your sandbox, but if you're by yourself with it, man, it gets lonely really quickly. So
that it does. And it takes a lot of money to do philanthropy.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It takes a lot of money. But I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in a legacy. I'm interested in a footprint.
There you go.
And a great big one.
Yes, sir. There you go.
Right? All the legacy stuff, that'll fall in line no matter what.
Yes, sir, it will.
But the footprint, got to think outside your 100 feet, man.
Man, shit, I'm telling you, man, at all times.
That's right. You got to be thinking global. So
yes, sir. That's what this thing is about.
If
it isn't global, it's not big enough, man.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why I tell a lot of people, in explaining my mindset, I tell them this is proven, not potential. You got to understand that me making it to the NFL was the first act. We're in act 2 now. So and we've been in this position before, so this is old hat for me. So my thing is these things that I'm saying to you may be scary to you, but I'm like, I'll be afraid with you. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
We can be scared together. Let's go get it.
I love that. Let's be scared together. I love that.
There you go.
And on that note, what a great place to end the show. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
100%, man.
We all have the same 168 every week. And thanks for stopping by and taking 40 minutes with me today.
100%, bro. I thank you, man. Appreciate you so much, man.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to War Room Moments with your host, Jason Miller. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.